Hello, and welcome to Data Driven, the podcast where we explore the emerging fields of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. And sometimes IoT, and sometimes health tech. Uh, so, um, One of the things that's been going on in my life in the last month or so is that I signed up for a weight loss program just because I'm realizing I'm not getting any younger. And I have been kind of doing keto, but not really doing keto right. Andy has had enormous success with keto, as have a number of other people I know. So one of the things I realized, I was kind of looking through the data that I had, tracking my weight and such and activity, um, that clearly I was doing some parts of keto right, because I have stayed consistently 10 pounds below when I started, but I never got really much further than that. I would fluctuate between 10 to 20 pounds lighter. So one of the things that was really cool, I went to a doctor that's up in Rockland County, New York, and my wife and I are actually on the same program. So what's interesting is one of the things they give you is a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM for short, which is essentially an IoT sensor that it's got a sharp little needle. It's like a thumbtack needle, and the thing is about an inch in diameter or less, or 2 centimeters or so. And you put it on your arm, and it basically will take a blood sugar reading every 5 minutes, 24/7. And here's the cool thing: if you have a phone that's with a pretty recent vintage, you can actually swipe it with your phone, and it's NFC. So it will actually then take the reading and then put it to the cloud. And the app on the phone actually has a lot of pretty cool analytics and such like that. So for me, the data geek, and it spoke to me. Then you can also give your doctor authorization to view it. So your doctor and you can go through, like, well, hey, what did you eat that caused this to happen? What did you do that caused that to happen? That sort of thing. So the good news is I found out I'm not diabetic. So that's great news. And the other thing I would say is just looking at the data, and I think it takes a reading automatically 5 minutes, no matter what you do. But you can also manually scan. So I think the first week I had like 500 manual scans, because I would be waiting in line or whatever, and just touch it with the phone, and it would come back and give me a report. But it's also interesting to know that the foods that really do spike my blood sugar, that I kind of didn't. Well, I kind of knew, but I didn't want to know. Things like chicken nuggets or whatever. It's mostly meat, protein. And it turns out that the breading and the oil that they're in, there's science with it. Go check out, if you're interested in knowing more about this guy. It's called the Low Carb MD Podcast. His name is Dr. Tro, and interesting guy, nice guy too. But for me, having a doctor that understands kind of the data-driven health, see what I did there? It is important to me, because I've had a Fitbit now for a better part of 2.5 years, and when I went to my old primary care, they looked at me like I was crazy, because they use the usual questions and stuff like that, and they just looked at me like crazy, because I could show them, like, they asked how your heart health is, and I was like, funny you mention that. Here's my heart rate data, resting heart rate data for the last 2 years. If you want to see the dailies, you can look at the dailies. And they just looked at me like, and she was pretty young too. I mean, she was a younger doctor. She's probably early 30s, and you would think that people who were practicing medicine longer before the technology came out would be more biased against it, but and that the newer generation, apparently it hasn't quite gotten there yet. But I was kind of surprised by that, kind of disappointed by that. So, um, you know, the doctor and I, we do like this web conference thing, and we talk every week about, hey, what happened this day, what happened this day. What's really funny is one time, actually, this is when I first discovered that fried foods are in fact actually bad. I had buffalo chicken salad, and I had blue cheese dressing, no croutons, just the stuff that I thought was keto. But my blood sugar just spiked, and I didn't get the grilled buffalo chicken. Part of it was I want to enjoy it one last time, and part of it was for, since I had the sensor on, it's for science. So I'll for the first week I ate some things that I kind of wasn't sure about, and I did it for science because I was on this. Good news is things, obviously all the things fried are bad. But a couple of things, like I thought that certain types of diet soda would have an issue, and so far it hasn't. There are other problems with diet soda, but let me fix one vice at a time. And but I think it's important to realize that with sensors, I mean, this basically this continuous glucose monitor, and I'm using the Freestyle Libre by I think it's Abbott Pharmaceuticals. What's really cool is you can log into your own portal and you can see your data, and there's all sorts of different graphs and charts. I mean, if you're a data geek, I mean, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'll probably do a longer blog post on franksworld.com and maybe include screenshots and stuff. But it's really cool. I'm actually traveling soon, so this coming week on a secret mission. More about that in a show Andy and I recorded the other day. But usually traveling is kind of hard if you want to do keto and you want to stay right on it. So with the sensor in my arm, I'm hoping that'll keep me honest. Plus, it'll also let me see, which particular foods that I think are keto are not keto. And having the ability to kind of know that, and I think the key here for me, and this is the key insight I got from it, isn't just the data, isn't just that it's an IoT health sensor, right? It hits all those buzzwords. The thing that worked for me was having instant gratification or instant feedback. That's really the word, because in our world, everything, we're so used to instant feedback, right? You name it. Whether you start streaming something, there's no waiting for things, and weight loss is one of those things where if you eat French fries on Tuesday, you don't see the weight show up necessarily on Wednesday or even Tuesday. It kind of has a longer feedback loop. What this does is I can take a look at my blood sugar within 20 minutes of eating, or I think it takes about 40 minutes to have a real impact. 40 minutes of eating something, that gives me immediate feedback that I know that if I were to eat the mozzarella sticks, that's a problem. I know that has a follow-on consequence. It's much more obvious. So for me, having that has for me been the secret sauce, if you will, of weight loss. And right now I'm down 32 pounds from my maximum as of this morning. And more than half of that now, has been since I signed up with this doctor about a month ago. And I feel great. I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice. If I were a doctor, I probably would be driving a Tesla, to be honest with you, or a Lamborghini or something like that. But the key here is, for me, having that instant feedback. And this is just blood sugar. So I'm sure there's other sensors that are going to be available for mass market and mass consumption, right? Heart rate sensors, real-time EKGs, 24/7. Imagine what that data could do. The doctors can know that if they give this person a certain type of medicine, it causes an irregular heartbeat, that sort of thing. So we can, with the sensors and this data, be far more proactive because we have a real feedback loop. So anyway, I've been excited about the sensor. If you see me next week at the secret conference, the secret mission, happy to demonstrate to you. I demonstrated to a few coworkers, and they've been fascinated. One even signed up, so and he's getting some real insight into what causes blood sugar problems and stuff like that. My dad was diabetic, and he was roughly my age when he was diagnosed, so this has been kind of very foremost on my mind, and having that feedback loop has been just mind altering and lifestyle changing. So with that, you have a great day.